What's up everybody, Skizzers here, and I'm super excited to be bringing you this brand new series starting with Jett. The goal of this episode is by the end of the video, you'll be comfortably doing stuff like this.
One enemy remaining.
I'm covered. One A long.
One enemy remaining.
Alright, so first off we'll be going over Jett's ability Cloudburst. Essentially this is Jett's smoke grenade. It only lasts a few seconds but can be great for providing quick cover as well as being used to cut off rotations, give yourself a chance to explode onto sites, or be used in many other ways. The main aspect of Cloudburst that we're going to be talking about here today is the fact that if you hold down the hotkey that you use for Cloudburst, you can control where it goes. It takes a lot of practice to get used to, and when you're first trying to get the hang of it, you'll mess it up a lot, but that's completely okay. You're in the learning phase of trying to get Cloudburst down really well. As you improve on your timings, you'll be able to provide your team with some quick and precise cover as you take over a site, whether that be attempting to plant the spike or retake the site after a spike's already been planted. Something I personally like to do sometimes, although it's very risky, is only smoke off a part of an area, leaving a section open. The reason it's extremely risky is that you're allowing the player that you're trying to duel for that 1v1 to still have a spot to hold their angle. The upside of this is that you know exactly where they're going to be if they are holding that angle, so you don't have to worry about any other potential angles they could be holding. I'm not going to be giving you many examples of how to do certain smokes because Cloudburst is so versatile that you can really line it up however you want. If you want to do a deep smoke, semi-deep smoke, you want to do just a face value smoke where you just hit like the edge of a wall. There's a lot of different options that you can use Cloudburst with. And the last to note about Cloudburst is you can throw it over areas of the map. I've explored this a little bit and the options are really endless, so make sure you experiment with trying to nail those perfect smokes and you'll be killing it in no time with the ability. So this next section we'll be looking at two things: movement and angles you can get with movement. Updraft being what propels you upwards, tailwind, which is your dash, and float are the abilities that we'll be looking at in this section. These abilities give Jett her free-flowing feeling and allows her to pull off plays no other agent can do. First thing we're going to be looking at is Tailwind, which is Jett's signature ability. This is something you're going to have every single round, and it'll be available to be used again after you've used it once in a round if you can get 2 kills. So you can dash, get 2 kills, dash again. Another awesome part about Jett's kit is the fact that she can float. You can utilize floating in many different ways, such as gliding over to another angle, holding yourself in the air while you're in your ultimate to give yourself some favorable odd angles, or even do damage float cancels. Basically how a float cancel works is if you fall from a high enough area to a lower area, you'll take fall damage. The worst thing that you can happen is you make this super clutch play, everyone loves you, they're all congratulating you, nice job, you clutched it out, and then you jump off and you take fall damage and die, only to now get laughed at by your whole team.
You hate to see it.
To avoid this, you can hold jump to float down to the ground and not take any fall damage. However, in the middle of a gunfight, you're going to want to do this as fast as possible, and floating down slowly to the ground makes you a very easy target to get picked off, as well as floating itself being a very loud ability. This is where float canceling comes in. All you have to do is hold jump for around half a second before you hit the ground, and you'll put yourself into a floating state, resulting in no damage taken and the quickest way to jump off of a higher area to get down to a lower area without taking any damage. So when you combine these moves, you get so many different options. For example, you can updraft onto a box for a vertical angle, you can tailwind to another piece of cover while gaining intel during the dash of where enemies are by looking into a site, using Cloudburst then tailwind to dash into an area, using Cloudburst then a half updraft into an immediate tailwind to slightly go over enemy players' heads to surprise them from behind. If you really want to get crazy, you can even double updraft into a tailwind into a damage float cancel to get behind everybody and take out an entire group. You get the point. There's a lot of different combinations for these abilities you can use depending on the scenario you're going to be facing, but the biggest thing you can work on, and it's super simple, is just play Jett. I know it sounds really dumb when you talk about all these different combinations and things you can do on her, but it really is that simple. You just need to get a feeling of how updraft works, how tailwind works, what the delays are before you can shoot again, what areas of the map are good for them. When you combine updraft, tailwind, and float, these abilities and combinations with the angles you can get with them really show the difference between a top tier Jett main and someone who's just trying her out for the first time. Getting down Jett's movement and figuring out the angles that you can get with her all come with just playing more and more Jett games. The saying, "the sky's the limit," really holds true when it comes to Jett and her
Enemy
options.
remaining.
Dueling is something that every character, every player should be trying to get better at. That is taking the 1v1s, trying to win in these scenarios where it's you versus somebody else, so you gotta win the gunfight. But the reason I brought it up in this Jett video, this Jett guide specifically, was because Jett doesn't bring a ton of utility to her team besides the fact that she's really mobile and can take duels on her terms. So being able to win those 1v1s, getting into those, 1v1s, 1v2s, 1v3s, anything like that, it's really going to be kind of your make or break for Jett. Because if what you're looking for is a lot of utility play and things of that nature, you're better off picking a different agent, because Jett's built to just go and get kills. That's her whole kit design, is just to go and get kills. So getting good at dueling, being that 1v1 scenario, 1v2, 1v3, whatever it may be, trying to get those kills on a more consistent basis with her will end up rewarding you in the long term. Not only will you be improving your gunplay as a player to get better and better at the game, but you'll be able to utilize Jett more and more with her movement, and you're also winning gunfights. You'll be an unstoppable force that no one's going to be able to deal with as you continue to climb higher and higher into the ranks.
One enemy remaining.
Now the last thing I'm going to be going over in this video is ultimate usage. Now ultimate usage with Jett is going to be your knives that you bring up and that you can throw, and your left click is going to be one knife at a time being thrown, and your right click is going to be all of them thrown at the same time. Think of it more like a shotgun burst. Now with Jett's ultimate, you want to be hitting those headshots. Headshots matter so much on her ultimate. You can think of her ultimate like hip firing with a Marshall. You just need to be getting those headshots if you're going to be taking down multiple targets. And in taking down multiple targets, every time you get a kill, your knives reset, so you get more knives. I personally find the most use out of her ultimate on eco rounds, because you can really treat it like a sniper shotgun hybrid where you have those options, and when it's a save round and it's the eco and you have to only buy a pistol or not buy anything at all, it is a good way to get a quote-unquote powerful weapon that you can run around and use in order to grab somebody else's weapon on the enemy team, therefore getting you a really good gun. If you can just go through the whole round with her ults and win the round, that's even better. But that's the main use I found for it. Otherwise, when I'm just using my normal guns, I find that takes me further than just trying to rely on her ultimate. The other times I really like using her ults is if it comes down to maybe a 1v4 or 2v4, or you're in a disadvantaged situation where the spike's been planted and you have an op and you need to kind of get down into these like close quarter scenarios. It sometimes is worthwhile just popping the ultimate, going in, trying to get those kills and not worrying about those really crisp snipes on the enemies, and just throwing knives ends up being an easier way to go. Once again, along with everything else in Jett's kit, you're just gonna have to play a lot to kind of get used to her ultimate. Although I will say, if you are playing other characters and you do want to get used to Jett's ult, buying a Marshall and trying to only hit headshots will be a good way to practice using Jett's ult. You can kind of pick any gun that can one-shot headshot, but the fact that the Marshall is very punishing if you don't hit that headshot, it does allow you to put yourself in a situation where if you did miss the headshot with Jett's ult, you would probably die. Same thing goes with the Marshall, and that'll give you some extra practice time, but primarily it's just going to be popping the ult and trying to get as many kills as you can. One last thing about her ultimate is it's 100% accurate while moving and in the air, so you can combine it with your movement abilities like updraft, tailwind, and float, giving you different sorts of angles that you can kind of come at people that they might not be expecting. And that wraps up this video on 5 skills you must master to be the best Jett main you can be. I hope this was helpful. I hope it gave you some insight, and I was able to expand maybe what you thought was possible with Jett. The next installment in this series is going to be on Viper, but any other agents you guys want to see, I'm completely open to do after Viper's video, so be sure to leave those agent requests in the comments, and I really do hope that this video helped you. If you did like the video, if the content was helpful, please be sure to like the video. Really helps me out a lot. Subscribe for more educational Valorant videos. I hope you all have a wonderful day and or night, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video.